fun as well. Her first for Canada. A wild match at Geodis Park, setting the stage for Wednesday night against the Americans. For Jess Lacey and Adam Jenkins, here's Andy Petrillo.
Big win for the Canadians here over Colombia, 4-1. We're going to break this one down on One Soccer, but to our viewers on TSN, the PWHL is next. Toronto Scepters versus Vancouver. 4-1, Canada, Colombia, first game of the SheBelieves Cup.
Luckiest shot I've ever seen. Hey, Mom. Chips. Whoa! Oh, thanks, Mom.
Boys got you again? Mm-hmm.
I get lost in your eyes.
You forget the rest when you bring out the best.
How are your investments doing?
That was on purpose. You know that topic always throws me off.
Lots of people feel that way. But don't worry, BMO's got advice to spare with any investment guidance and support you need.
I need some.
And you'll get it with personalized investing recommendations to help you feel confident in your decisions.
I'm curious. Do you roll as good as you help?
Bowling mode.
It's yes, by the way.
BMO.
This ultimate mouth-watering moment is brought to you by the big, bold, ultimate taste of Ultimate Chicken Hot Dogs, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
When pain stops you in your tracks, try new Voltacare Cooling Cream with 4 pain-fighting ingredients. And get fast cooling pain relief. New Voltacare Cooling Cream.
For more than 25 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories.
Access Storage, proud partner of Canada Soccer and the women's national team.
A lot to be happy about if you're Casey Stoney and the national team. 4-1, Canada beats Colombia, first game of the SheBelieves Cup. They're scoring goals, but out of those 4 goals, 4 different goal scorers. You're looking at some of them there. Vanessa Gilles got it started, followed by Janine Beckie. Sydney Collins gets her first for country. Nichelle Prince gets the 90th. Sheridan was so close to that clean sheet. Colombia awarded a penalty kick. She guessed it, got her mitt on it, but it was a bullet of a shot. Andy Petrillo, Jordan Wilson here inside the studios. We welcome you back inside our One Soccer studio. There's Amy Walsh. All right, Amy, what did you make of this performance by the Canadians today?
Thank goodness it happened, Andy Petrillo. I think that if the first goal was a collective exhale, I think from everybody inside that locker room and wearing that kit, I think Canada, as fans of this program, pundits, everybody watching this game, this is what we hoped for under Casey Stoney. So if this is coming into fruition now, this is them kicking off a really important year on the right foot, 4 different goal scorers. I wish that Sheridan would have been able to get that clean sheet, but it was a return to form, and I think a return to the intangibles that make this Canadian identity. And I think you saw the threads and the fabric of it today in individual performances, but the team performance as well.
It's nice to know that gut feeling that I had, that hallelujah moment.
It was all because of him.
No, I woke up this morning and said today's the day. Look, you mentioned it, the different goal scorers. I thought the fact that they were so collective, the players today, meaning it wasn't perfect in the first half, where they stuck with it, right? And I thought in moments when they were 2-0 up as well, they defended. They defended well, they defended as a unit. So for the first match of this tournament, of the SheBelieves Cup, you can feel good about that if you're Casey Stoney and company to build on. And then now in a couple of days' time, you're going to face the Americans where you almost have to be nearly flawless. So it was a right step in the right direction, and I'm just happy for the players.
Even though we're seeing some new faces, DB Pridham, right, getting her first cap as well here today for Canada, you want to be able to look to the veterans still. And what about Janine Beckie, who does happen to be our Gatorade performance of the match here? Amy, what did you like about her game today?
I loved the way that she was a microcosm of Canada on the day, grew into it, had to adapt a little bit, defending Caicedo in that right flank, getting pulled a little bit wide. She was finding those half spaces, but she found her footing, and then she found not only her scoring boots on this free kick. I mean, what a missile here from Sonis. Great to see from her, but the way she engineered a lot of the attack, that is what we've become accustomed to with Janine Sonis, but she definitely led the way today for Canada, and it was terrific to see.
I can see why Casey Stoney has a few issues, because you look at a Riviere as well that could play on the right back, Ashley Lawrence, if she comes back into camp next time as well, that all play similar roles. What I'm trying to say about Sonis is I think she thrives in that right back or playing deeper in the pitch and then going forward, right? You could see she was an architect of a lot of the attack based on the fact that she could see the plays, make the passes, and then join. I find sometimes when she's playing as a winger, it might be hard because it all depends on the service that she gets. But today, I thought she was a leader. I thought even you could see after the second goal when she hit the free kick, she was urging her teammates, like, come on, let's stay focused, let's keep pushing. So it was a leader, it was a big girl performance from her. She really stepped up today.
By the way, I just learned, Amy, you're a missile person. Are you a missile or a missile?
A missile. Depends on the day, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, ambidextrous.
All right, let's get to the Volkswagen moment of the match. I mentioned it. Sydney Collins getting her first for the national team. Amy, this has to feel good for the player who has just had so much bad luck with injuries the last year and a bit.
Yeah, we should have seen her more realistically, and it's been a tough slog for her to get back to full fitness, to be involved in Canadian team stuff, and she's back there. She gets the goal. No one will remember how that went in because it kind of gets bungled over the line, but it goes in, and I think I'd love to see it as well, because Mimi Aladu, for as good as that shot was, she should have passed, I think, to Collins initially in that channel. So I know I'm nitpicking a little bit, but fabulous to see from Collins.
You know, maybe her intent was to hit it off the crossbar to free up Collins as well. Only certain people can call those type of shots. Obviously, I'm joking. Sydney Collins gets subbed on, and it's 1 minute and 27 seconds before the ball's in the back of the net off of her head. So talk about a super sub. That's efficiency at its finest. That's one of the quickest goals I've seen from a sub coming on into a match.
That was a great substitution there, but I mean, this is somebody we've also seen start in the past, and then of course having one broken leg, then another broken leg before it was just, you really started to feel for her, but she comes back, she's looking in form, and it's somebody who's got a ton of speed, is clinical, even though that one probably wasn't the finest of goals scored, but it counts. So there's a lot of promise when it comes to Sydney Collins. This was in the 90th minute. It was Nichelle Prince. What do you think it means, Amy, for her to get on the board?
This is huge. We talked about this, like a call to action from Casey Stoney to leave Ashley Lawrence and Adriana Leon at home. Pressure's on then for these stalwarts, for these veterans to perform, to get the goals. I mean, a lot of the goals today came from your defensive line. Came from Vanessa Gilles, who's continually come up clutch for this program. Great to see a front runner. Great to see somebody like Nichelle Prince, who struggled at club, whether she was with Kansas City Current, trying to crack that lineup, and now at expansion side Boston Legacy. Important for her to go back there, bring her scoring boots with her, but terrific to see her get one for Canada, and great for, I think, the front runners, for the strikers to notch one as well.
I love the assists from the cast as well.
I was just going to set you up with that,
the same way. Don't worry about that. 72nd minute, she comes on, energetic, lively. Casey Stoney, when she speaks about her as well, she's a player that doesn't care. She doesn't care if she hits someone off the ball. She doesn't care if she goes late to tackle. You've seen her as well. She was impactful. She got a yellow card after trying to grab someone because she tried to do a dummy through her legs and the player got the ball. She said, no, I'm going to pull you down. That type of impact you kind of need with this team, and I love to see Lacasse come back into the squad. But the finish, when you look at Prince hitting that first time, it's great, it's clean, it's just back on the goal. But I also think about, everyone's talking about fuzzy strawberries and whatnot. When you talk about Stoney, when she talks about Nichelle Prince, She's just saying that she always has the right attitude. She comes into training, she comes into camp. Doesn't matter if she's starting or not playing, she's there. So I think that's a benefactor of what she does off the pitch and what she does for this team. She ends up finishing and scoring a goal. You don't like fuzzy strawberries?
No, it's okay. I don't
This
really.
is what I heard.
I don't really have a comeback for that. But you know what's nice is you saw Canada score on set pieces. You saw Canada score from open play. Let's hear from Jessie Fleming.
Sorry, it's okay. Jessie, what a way to start 2026. The group must be pretty pleased with that performance.
Yeah, I think we're definitely happy. I think the vibes in camp have been good, and I think we deserve that result today.
You talked about vibes just there. I think we saw that again in that group huddle at the end. You talked for quite some time. Can you take us inside that moment? What was being said at the end of the game there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were happy with the team performance. I think there's still lots to grow on, but there was lots of little individual things that we got to celebrate. We had a couple of first caps, a first goal, and it was really good to have Chloe back from a long-term injury, so it's always nice to pause and celebrate those moments.
Good, I'm glad. You know as well as anyone that the USA and your upcoming opponents this week are going to be very difficult ones. How do you sort of shift gears and look ahead to your next match now?
Yeah, I mean, I think preparation for the U.S. starts now. I think we're excited. We know they're a good team, and I think when you're playing against good teams, it tests you, and we're going to have to bring our best, and it'll be a really good test early on in the year, so we're excited to switch focus to the U.S.
Congrats on the win, Jessie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goal scoring, of course, is going to get the attention because A, they haven't done it in a while, B, that is what wins you games, but something else we wanted to see was a little bit more grit, a little bit more nastiness, and that if you're a team that's going to cross over that center line, you're going to be greeted by somebody who's not going to be so nice, to put it lightly here, Amy. When we look at the defending of Canada here today, in Jade Rose in particular, did you like a little bit more of that grit?
I did. And I think we saw not only some of that mentality, that mindset where Canada is difficult to play against, whether it's a 1v1 matchup or a collective. They were well organized out of possession, and they made up for mistakes if they were late to things. Linda Caicedo, we know what she can do. She's lively, she's dangerous, she's really quick off the mark. And a couple of times those blindside runs off the shoulder of the opposite center back sometimes caught our center backs flat-footed. But Jade Rose has the ability to recover quickly, and you saw her make an error there where she overcommits, doesn't get to the ball, and concedes the pen, and then that's bye-bye to the clean sheet for Sheridan. But I think overall, I like the attitude in this back line, and a team who managed the game quite well with a lot of chopping and changing, and 3 out of the 4 of the back line went over to the bench and new players came in. We saw Collins score, but the kind of the anchor points to all of that was Jade Rose at the heart of that back line and Emma Regan in front of her. So shout outs to them for holding everything together.
Yeah, and that triangle, right? You look at Gilles, you look at Rose, and then you have Emma Regan that was protecting in front. What was probably stuck out to me, and I feel like Stoney in some degree will probably mention, when the game's at 1-0 and you start the second half, there are many moments where Colombia broke, right? And it's 4v4 or 5v4, but the defenders, they defended well, they protected. We had so many packs, and maybe at some point we'll show you as this week progresses, of Gabby Carl sticking her leg in as well, blocking shots. There's no nonsense defending, and I think in 2025, specifically in those 5 games that Canada didn't score, what made it that much worse is that they didn't defend together. But today they did. The sleeves were rolled up, the studs were out and showing, and that's how you have to play games. That has to be the standard for this team moving forward.
All right, here's Janine Sonis.
Janine, we've talked to Casey before the She Believes, and she said, we need to start scoring. We have to start taking more opportunities, and obviously those came today. How satisfied are you with this performance?
Just really happy, really proud of the group. I think every single person that stepped on the field did their job today. It feels really good to win and to score some really nice goals as well. So we'll definitely take this confidence and momentum into the next one.
You had a really nice goal yourself. We know that set pieces were a huge point of emphasis as well coming into this camp. How good can this team be when, you know, their set pieces are firing like that?
We're arguably the most dangerous team on set pieces in the world when we're firing on all cylinders, when delivery is good, when we've got our biggest threats. I mean, you put a ball in Vanessa's head and she scores 9 out of 10. I would even say 10 out of 10. She's just a fantastic threat in the box on set pieces, and so that makes my job easy as a deliverer. And yeah, we were definitely off the mark last year with those. It's been a big point of emphasis this week. People have really stepped up, and just turn the dial a little bit more to focus on those both with the ball and without. And I think we can all be really proud of the performance today.
I think a lot of people watching this game had deja vu when they saw Vanessa score that header. What can you say about the confidence, though, that this result and scoring that many goals in a single game will give you moving forward?
Yeah, it's a huge confidence booster. I mean, Colombia is a good team. We all know that they've, they have a really strong team. They have Linda Caicedo, Lacey Santos, some really dangerous players, and I thought for the most part we really shut their threats down and didn't give them much in terms of opportunities on goal. So when you limit your opponent's opportunities and you're that lethal with the opportunities that you have, usually it plays in your favor.
Thanks for your time, Janine. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Well, Janine nailed it. She talked about Vanessa Gilles and being that threat in the box, in particular off set pieces. And we saw her for a good portion there in 2025, actually near the end of 2024, heading into 2025, Jordan, scoring quite a few goals, and they kind of all look similar.
Yeah, they do. And like you mentioned it, when you talk about this player as a center back, you don't really get to be in the box if you're dribbling, right? It's on set pieces. But she's such a threat. She anticipates. She has a knack of knowing where the ball will be, and she makes sure that her run suits that as well, right? So her size, her ability to leap, this is all kind of that leads to her scoring these goals. And I think about players when they step up, whether it be Olympics or a moment when a team's struggling, you kind of need a goal like that just to break the ice, to have people relax. And it seems like Vanessa Gilles is the player to always do that.
Yeah, by the way, she did score. That was 2024 SheBelieves Cup. We saw her score with the header. We saw her at the Pinatar Cup at the start of 2025 scoring in the header as well, Amy. And then, of course, the beautiful goal here today.
What I love about Vanessa Gilles is the body language, first of all, is the confidence that she imbues into this squad. But when you look at how menacing she can be on these set pieces, it's the timing. It's absolutely impeccable. The execution, if she's able to get her head to a ball, then I mean, Sona said 9 times out of 10, well, maybe 10 times out of 10. I don't know if she's that good on her conversion rate, but if she gets her head to it, it's got a chance of finding the back of the net. But it's the conviction. It's the willingness, it's the understanding and the belief in that moment that she's going to connect with the ball. And I think what Canada did today is they took that and they applied it to almost every other facet of the game. So they weren't perfect, but it was a tremendous step in the right direction for this team as they kick off 2026.
Well, I can only imagine Casey Stoney is happy with this result. Let's go pitch side. Mackenzie KJ caught up with her.
Christian Jack and Mackenzie Barwell here alongside Canada's head coach, Casey Stoney. Casey, you just mentioned nice to talk after a win. This team is very deserving of this result, given the performance they put in. What can you say about what you saw on the pitch today?
Well, it's been a while since I've done an interview after a win. I think, overwhelmingly pleased for the players and the team. They needed this win to build confidence, to build belief, to show everybody that's been doubting them that there's still a team in there that's still very good. I've never doubted that, but I think on the outside they've been doubted, and I think they've proved a few people wrong today. But we're also a realist, right? The next game is the next level. You're playing the best team in the world, so we're going to have to improve in certain areas. We're going to have to make sure that we're better in certain areas. Recovery starts now. We'll pick the game apart, but I have to celebrate the wins, and to get 4 goals was really pleasing.
Casey, can I ask you about your preparation? Getting to watch you in training this week, it almost seemed like everything came off. Goals from set pieces, shots from distance that led to something, crosses into the box and one-touch finishing. How big was that preparation for today?
Well, the preparation only works if the players execute it. So it's on them. All credit to them. They executed. They also did some different things that weren't in the plan, which was great. There's freedom within the framework. So just really proud of them. Obviously, really proud that we've got some debuts in there as well. We've got some young players into the game. So I think we can be really happy with where we're at, but also know that there's still a lot of work to do.
Casey, when we asked about your identity yesterday, you said one of the pillars is this sense of relentless control. How did you see that come out on the field?
I think we had moments of it. I'd still like us to improve that, because I think they had moments in transition where we could have prevented it. They had moments in the first half where they went close to our goal. I think once we got control of the game, we've got to, probably cut out a few technical errors that then lead to them getting momentum. But I think once we got control of the game and we started creating, I think we looked really comfortable at times.
There's a lot of good individuals today, and I thought Mimi Aladu had a really good game getting in space as well. How happy were you with her and that overall attack that came from midfield?
It's interesting because she was highlighted as a player under pressure, right? I know what she can do. I know what she's capable of, and I believe in her, and I think she showed today those qualities of picking it up in the pockets, driving, I think getting into the right areas. You know, she shoots, and obviously it comes off for Sid to score. So I think she had really, really bright moments. There's stuff we need to help her with defensively, but she's in there because she can create.
You excited for the US?
Yeah, it's going to be a big game. You know we haven't beaten them here in 40 years, so we want to give it our best. We're going to have a go, you know, and I think it's going to be an exciting game for everybody to watch.
See you in Columbus. Thanks, Casey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You know we're going to be previewing that game in just a moment, but a reminder that the CONCACAF U20 qualifiers happening right now. The men so far looking good, 14-0 in that first game, 8-0 second. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, you can watch them take on Aruba. So yes, you heard them talking about it. Next up for the Canadians, they will be taking on the Americans at the SheBelieves Cup. How much confidence for these 4 goals does this win give this team as they get set to take on a team that is always a good measuring stick for them? We're going to break that down and look ahead next.
For generations, we've put more goodness in so you get a whole lot more out of every single delicious egg. A lot goes into a little at Burnbrae Farms.
Think it can't get any better? We think you should have more. More confidence. More space. More style. And who doesn't want more fun? We all deserve more. That's why there's an SUVW for everyone. Taos, Tiguan, Atlas, Crossport, and the all-electric ID4.
Everybody wants super straight, super white teeth. They want that Hollywood white smile. New Sensodyne Clinical White provides 2 shades whiter teeth and 24/7 sensitivity protection. I think it's a great product. It's going to help a lot of patients.
This is not just laundry. This is laundry that's one and done. This is the ultra-fast combo laundry machine that does both washing and drying cycles, so you can take a load off. This is cleaning large loads in about 2 hours. No more checking, no more forgetting. Profile is revolutionizing laundry, making any room the laundry room. This is GE Profile.
Maybe the luckiest shot I've ever seen. Hey, Mom. Chips. Whoa! Oh, thanks, Mom.
Boys got you again? Mm-hmm.
Balls under boob and butt, balls under boob and butt, chest and thighs and feet and back.
New Degree Whole Body Deodorant for all-day odor protection.
4-1 win for Canada here today over Colombia. If you haven't already figured it out by the music, yeah, those two are in Nashville, Tennessee. Let's head on over to Mac and KJ and get your thoughts on this one.
4-1 against Colombia. You really couldn't ask for a better start to the SheBelieves Cup, but also 2026 for this side. I just spoke with Janine Beckie, Janine Sonis and KJ. We also spoke with Casey Stoney, Jessie Fleming, and you could really, tell by their body language how much they needed this one under their belt and how much confidence they'll take away from really applying exactly what they practiced in training on the field today.
I think it's a really good point. What they applied in training was evident. We got to see it all week. Set piece goals, more shots that led to the third goal in particular. Jordan Heidemer heavily involved in the attack as a combination player. Crosses from the from the left and the right. One touch finishing that led to the fourth goal. All things they've been working on this week, and it just goes to show you that they have the application, that they can do that at the highest level. It was a really enjoyable watch, and there's a few times they got challenged, but overall, I think every single player we could go to all the way across, even the younger players, the debut players, all performed well.
Absolutely, and Casey said as much as they are happy and confident in the performance and result today, they're also realistic and know that an even bigger challenge awaits ahead in the U.S. as in just a couple days from now, that's their next opponent. What do you think they need to apply from today in that next one?
Well, first of all, confidence is the great fuel. No, because if they didn't get the result today, that would have been a harder task to climb on Wednesday. Now they're full of confidence. I think their big game players showed up. I thought Janine Becquie's our performer of the match was tremendous, not just from dead ball situations. Laura Caicedo is a tough customer to defend. I thought she did really well, showed a big game experience. I really like Rose and Gilles at centre back. I mean, I know Vanessa got her goal, but defensively, I thought they were very well organized. I think Jade Rose is a really promising player. I know it was a little bit unlucky on the penalty decision, but I think her future is so high. I could go on and on. I picked out Mimi Aladu because I thought she was very good in getting in those pockets. You may not get that space and that time and application as quickly against the United States. There's a lot of players there that we can go through. The midfield played very well. Fullbacks, a lot of, as I said, they just have to speed and be quicker with their speed of thought on Wednesday in Columbus. But above all, today was about momentum and confidence, Mark. We've been around them all week. They've been saying they felt it. They needed to put that into place, and the action spoke louder than words today.
Exactly. It's one thing to say it and another thing to do it and execute. So far, so good for the Canadians in the SheBelieves Cup, but we'll follow very closely in their next 2 games.
So yeah, they will be heading to Columbus to take on USA. We'll get you started and ready for that game, 6 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, right here, One Soccer and TSN. And here's the thing, the Canadians were closing the gap against the Americans. You go back to 2024, Amy, semi-final Gold Cup. That was a 2-2 draw. Canadians ultimately lose in pens. Then after that, at the SheBelieves Cup, once again, that ends up 2-2. They end up losing 5-4 in pens. They were so close. And then as we know, last summer, it was the 3-0 loss. What is it going to take to get back to closing that gap?
I think they don't refer back to that last performance. They don't refer back even to 2024. They refer back to today. They've laid the foundation for success. You look at what Casey Stoney wanted to establish, their principles of play, their identity. Jordan, you can come at me for are they one and the same, or you know, are they completely separate things? But I think here they were front-footed, they were vertical at times, they were suffocating in the counter press and on the press. I think they could have been a little bit more ruthless at times, but they found joy. And joy doesn't necessarily come in the form of goals. Today it did, but it comes in the manner that you express yourself on the pitch. So what felt, I think, so jarring from a latter half of 2025 when they were unrecognizable was the manner in which they lost. So I think today it's not only the win, it's the scoreline, but it's the manner in which they executed and performed. And they have to take that aspect of this game and carry it with them in what's going to be a very tough opponent versus the U.S.
You're so right, Amy. They did have joy today from top to bottom. You can see how they celebrated goals. You can see how they even grinded in certain moments of the game. But let's not mince words. You're going to play the Americans. For me, that is the best team in the world, right, in terms of how they possess, control the game. So the identity was present today, but the tactics as well and following the game plan needs to be even that much cleaner going into Wednesday. So you look at this team, I think you're going to have to defend a lot more. You're going to have to roll up your sleeves. But I think the biggest thing that I want to see going into that match against the Americans is when Canada has the ball, have to keep it and move it a little bit more. So if you're playing into, I believe Stoney told us as well that maybe you're giving a break to Jordan Heidemann, maybe someone else is coming in to play that number 9 role, is be a presence and hold up the ball, allow players to come in so you can combine and connect. Because when you have a moment against the Americans, you cannot let it go to waste. You have to make sure you punish them. So I'm hoping for that same tenacity that we saw today present as this tournament continues.
Curious to also see what that starting 11 looks like against a team that you know it is really important to beat them. 4-1 the final here. Canada defeating Colombia. Amy Walsh, you've got Jordan Wilson, Adam Jenkins, Jess Lisi, Mackenzie Barwell, Christian Jack. I'm Manny Petrillo. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time when it's Canada versus USA in the SheBelieves Cup.
For generations, we've put more goodness in so you get a whole lot more out of every single delicious egg. A lot goes into a little at Burnbrae Farms.
Think it can't get any better? We think you should have more. More confidence. More space. More style. And who doesn't want more fun? We all deserve more. That's why there's an SUVW for everyone. Taos, Tiguan, Atlas, Crossport, and the all-electric ID4.
I see you looking.
Everybody wants super straight, super white teeth. They want that Hollywood white smile. New Sensodyne Clinical White provides 2 shades whiter teeth and 24/7 sensitivity protection. I think it's a great product. It's going to help a lot of patients.
This is not just laundry. This is laundry that's one and done. This is the ultra-fast combo laundry machine that does both washing and drying cycles, so you can take a load off. This is cleaning large loads in about 2 hours. No more checking, no more forgetting. Profile is revolutionizing laundry, making any room the laundry room. This is GE Profile.
Might be the luckiest shot I've ever seen. Hey, Mom.